Hi everyone and welcome, Jenny Marples here. I want to share with you my latest junk journal. Before I do, just a big thank you to everybody for your overwhelming reaction to my first video sharing a junk journal. Huge love for all the comments that came my way, particularly from Beth Wallen and Liz the Paper Project. I'm fans of your work and it was so lovely of you to leave us such a kind reaction. So I'll show you the cover second, but first of all let's get started on the inserts, because these are something that I know a lot of people are creating out there. I've made 3 of these inserts. They're all exactly the same in terms of setup, so I'll just share one with you rather than taking lots of your time up, and then we'll move on to the cover. So I've used Tim Holt's Wallflower paper collection as the basic cover for the insert, and have then gone on and added lots of different ephemera and different types of paper inside. You'll see on the front cover that I actually have a tag here with some stained lace and a little bow die cut ready for slipping in. It's nice to add these elements, I think, so that you've got plenty of room there for journaling or for adding pictures. Then we've got some tea stained paper, and I've done a postcard here, which again I've actually coloured to match the whole look of this journal. I've gone for a really romantic vibe for this one. I thought it would be ideal for maybe storing memories of a wedding, or maybe a christening, or even a prom would be great. Lots of lace here, and I was really keen to make sure that I included the floral elements and botanical elements from the gardening encyclopedia paper that I've used within the journal. You'll see I've got some adage tickets, and also made some little tickets as well from some embossed card along the way, so again things can be tucked in there as well. So just moving forward, again I've got pockets for adding things in. I've also stamped onto some of the dyed paper. I've used Tim Holt's Illustrated Garden set, which is, again, it adds to that botanical theme. You'll see I've actually stamped on both sides. Again, this can be written over if you want to. I did a flip out page here, and again, this botanical paper I thought really fitted well with the theme, and some of the images have been beautifully drawn, and it was such a shame to cover them up, so I gave them centre stage. I've done this before on the last junk journal and really enjoyed doing it. So again, some craft glassine here, and you can see I've just done a flip out there with a space to tuck a photo in here, and there's just a little mat there for adding photos into on some vintage music paper, and again little tuck spot in here, and just little pieces of muslin and die cut embossed card throughout. Again another tuck spot here, and the center pages, which are those full-sized pages that can be flipped out, so there's plenty of room for journaling all of those precious memories. Again, we've got another little tuck spot there, and all the way along I've added just little pieces of lace trim here, and you'll see with some of the paper I actually just folded over to create a sewn pocket there for adding more information. In here I've got another mat going on here, and there's also a tuck spot, and I did leave the side open so that people could add some hidden treasures away inside there. And a flip up here. Again, I've kept it nice and blank so that people can store their own memories. So I've got another tuck spot here on this very large ticket, and more of that graph paper that's been tea stained and stamped on. Another pocket here, and actually I made a tiny mini book. Saw this idea online, absolutely loved it, so just a little one here with some more of that paper and just a very small signature there, just something for recording maybe some secret memories in there. You'll notice here there's also a tab that actually comes from the journal cover set, and I'll talk through that shortly. All of the pages have actually been stitched to make sure that they are secure, and added a little lace trim there and a flip out page. And coming around to the back here, I've got another tuck spot in the back cover, and I've added 3 of these tags, which are smaller size tags, blank on the reverse, but I've actually stamped and watercoloured the floral images, again from Tim's Illustrated Garden set. So that's the basic setup, and as you'll see there's lots of lace trim coming out of there, and I've actually included 3 of these within the journal itself. So 3 full inserts, so you can see when they're all added together there's quite a bit of room for documenting memories. And then you'll see they very easily slip into this journal cover. Now the journal itself, I posted on the last video. It's from Eileen Hull's HeARTfelt collection, which is being released this month, and basically it comprises of a die which will cut you one of the cover sides, and also you get the little plaque, and also, do you remember I showed you those tabs as well inside which you can cut or fold over and use. You just cut a couple of these, and I tend to stick mine down the centre spine, but you can actually overlap them if you wanted to make them smaller. It's really entirely left to you. There's a ton of ideas coming out this month from all of Eileen's amazing design team, so keep your eyes peeled for those. Having decorated and glued them together, it's then really easy to use these. They're standard Midori size, traveller notebook size, so all of those inserts that you can see online that people are creating will fit beautifully into these. For my own cover here, I've gone ahead with more of a shabby chic design to this one. And just to explain briefly, I've used paper leather on here. If you've never heard of paper leather before, okay, this is something created by or produced by Sizzix, and you can use it for stamping, for embossing, for inking on. You can shape it all, and you can also stitch it. It is really, really strong and durable. Just to show you a sheet here, you can see it comes in 6x6 or the regular 8.5x11 size, and it actually doesn't tear at all. You can fold it, but it won't start to rip and come apart the way that paper fibres will do. So really great for this kind of thing. So I actually embossed mine with the floral embossing folder from Sizzix, and once I'd stitched round it, I ran some white gesso just over the background, and then I inked it with a couple of Wendy Vecchi archival ink pads, so violet and potting soil, and I also ran a little bit of shabby chic distress paint over the top as well. And then finally I ran it through my Big Shot just with the extended plates, because I wanted to flatten it out slightly again. You don't always have to have the design raised once you've actually added the colour to the raised areas. So then I glued that onto the journal, which I'd already painted with the shabby shutters paint, and added some white gesso, and then I added some lace here, and you'll see here there's a stitched element. This is really fun. I used old vintage paper that I'd also tea stained, and I used one of Eileen's. She released these last year. These are called stitchlets. So they're a thinlet die, so they'll run through pretty much any machine, and they cut the holes basically that allow you then to hand stitch or embroider through. I used this particular design here, so you'll see there it just cuts through the paper, and then I could thread some embroidery silk through and stitch that design and then stick that down. Okay, moving forward, you'll see here I've added, this is a little bit of lace handkerchief, and there's also some more embossing paper there. And do you remember that plaque that I showed you that was cut from the journal die itself? I've included a word on there, a die cut word. These flowers are the stitchy flowers that Eileen has released in her HeARTfelt collection this year as well, and I love these. I just love these little fronds coming off, and was able to paint those and stain them with ink to match. And in the center they're actually lovely and glittery and dimensional. I'm not sure how much of that is being picked up in this light. Again, just to share with you, these are pieces of semi-precious gemstone that you can get from Emerald Creek Craft Supplies. This is the moissanite, and it's lovely because it has a black shiny gunmetal colour to it, but then when you actually catch it in the light, you'll find there's shades of purple and green and blue and teal, and it's really, really beautiful when it catches the light. So I layered everything up. On here you can see there's book paper, more stitching, and a little bit of lace. Basically you can go to town with whatever elements you've got in just the same way that you would do with the inserts. Finally, rather than enclosing this as I have done before, I left it open because I figured it's nice to have something chunky just and reveal all of that texture so that it makes you want to open it. And you'll see the tassels on the side here. Eileen has a fantastic tool called the Twist and Style tool. So just bring that in here so you can see. So this is the Twist and Style tool. And basically it was developed by Eileen for taking threads, fibres, elastics, whatever you like, and being able to wind it round and actually using the twisting tool to make those twisted threads. Really, really simply. She's got some fantastic videos on her Facebook page, Eileen Hull Designs, and one of those was how to create these tassels. So I took the matching embroidery thread, and I did actually, once I'd created those, added some white gesso as well, just so that they'd be thoroughly in keeping. So that's it for my new journal. I hope you've enjoyed seeing it. If there are any questions, please feel free to leave them in the comments section below. I'd love to get your feedback. I'd love to hear what you have to say. And if you want to find out more about Eileen's new journal die, then hop on over to Eileen Hull's Facebook page, Eileen Hull Designs, and you'll be able to see more there. And there's plenty more inspiration coming up on something that we're all working on as a team to give you even more inspiration. Thank you very much for joining me. I'll post this on my blog, pushingtherightbuttons.blogspot.com, so that you can see some close-up photos, and there'll be links on there to everything I've been talking about today. Thank you for joining me, and I hope you'll keep watching, and if you like what you see, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Thank you.